All right, so what's up, y'all? So we are moving on to our next topic. So our next topic is the importance of Black people's political position. So currently, right now, the majority of Black people tend to vote Democratic, but I think there's a few things that Black people are not aware about of the Democratic Party, and one of those things were um, the our early 20th century, the Democratic Party did support slavery. And part of the birth of the Republican Party was to fight against, slavery. And in part, that came from Abraham Lincoln. But that's something that I don't think a lot of people take into consideration whenever they vote Democrat or Republican, whichever one. They don't really know the truth behind it, especially Black people. So, for those who are not sure what party that they feel more comfortable with, that is more aligned with the ideology, the political ideologies, there's a third party. There's multiple parties, but there's another party called the Libertarian Party, and the Libertarian Party. They focus more on civil liberties and non-interventionism, as well as a limited scope on government action. So, a lot of people who are not comfortable with the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, there's always still a Libertarian Party that they can look into to see if that aligns more with their political views. But is there anything that you guys wanted to add to that, or the current state of our political climate as far as Black people?
You can go first on that one.
Well, to me, Black folks, I ain't worried about nobody but, Black people. So, they always putting faith in the wrong person, people, when it clearly states in his word that you shouldn't put nobody over you that's not your brother. So I don't vote, and that's the reason why. So
you had a verse to go
Yeah.
with that one?
yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15.
Deuteronomy 17:15.
You shall set a king over you from among your countrymen, brothers. You may not choose a foreigner to rule over you. This is not of your countrymen.
Well,
But see, Black people don't know who their countrymen or who they don't know who their countrymen, they brother, so.
and we're not in our country.
Right.
All you
Well,
really need
technically,
to
this is our country. But
all you really need to get the Black vote is some hot sauce, some
Lil
empty
Jon
promises.
and Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, some
That's
Steve,
all.
Meg the Stallion.
Yeah.
Quavo.
Entertain,
All you need to bring all these celebrities, to get the Black vote.
As long as we entertain, you got our vote.
Well, I got something from a website. It's called, this website is on 13.org, and it talks about how the Democratic Party was started in the 1830s, and then it progressed in the 1840s, 1850s, getting more members. Started during Andrew Jackson was elected. So the party was in conflict over extending slavery to the Western territories, slavery in all the territories, while many Northern Democrats resisted. The party split over the slavery issue in 1860 at its presidential convention in Charleston, South Carolina. Northern Democrats nominated Stephen Douglas as their candidate, and Southern Democrats adopted a pro-slavery platform and nominated John C. Breckinridge in an election campaign that would be won by Abraham Lincoln and the newly formed Republican Party. After the Civil War, most white Southerners opposed radical Reconstruction and the Republican Party's support of black civil and political rights. So that right there is just talking about how the Democratic Party was created to make sure slavery was kept and is here to progress just evil. Keep putting down of not just black people, but colored people in general. So the Democratic Party has always been against minorities and against people of color. And the Republican Party was created to go against them in the beginning. So, to be honest, we poor, most colored people, people of our complexion are poor, middle class anyway. So, all these parties we subscribing to, like, they not here to help us. Like, we really got to look into, first of all,
The origin.
yeah, of these things, and also understand that you gotta understand the world you're living in, understand what you do have control over in your actual life, in your actual reality, and tend to lean more on those things, controlling those things, than to be trying to be focused on things you have no control over. And don't be fooled by influences that have a mouth to speak to the masses and don't don't fall for the hype, man. Like, don't fall for the hype, man. Watch out for the distractions and control what you can control and make educated decisions. When you don't know what's going on about something, you need to educate yourself on that, then make a decision. Especially things that are affecting yourself, your children, your family, and people around you. Like, so I would just try to make sure you're studying and understanding politics, what it really is, Democratic Party, Republican Party, and just at the end of the day, brother, if you're a brother, man, don't be giving no man no power over you. Don't be on no sucker stuff. Ain't no man got no right to make no rule over nothing in my life, period, man. I ain't going for that. I don't sit on that. And that's the and that's the hood version of what I'm saying, man. Take control of your own life. Like, for real, don't be giving the power to somebody to give power over your life, man. You a man, bro. Like, stand on something, or you gonna fall, bro. Get it together, man. Get it together, my brothers, my people, man. All this voting, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, stimulus check, man. Bump all that. Be your own stimulus check. Give yourself a fat check every month. You know what I'm saying? Do what you can. There's plenty of ways we can do that. So that's my opinion on all of that.
And I'm glad you said that because that provides better context. So the parties were created in the 19th century, but the majority of black people converted to Democrat in the 20th century. I think it was around the 70s and the 80s. But my stance on it is, as black people, we have to figure out what's best in our political interest. And sometimes I don't think these parties really follow through with what they say. You know, they make these promises that they're going to do this, that they're going to do that, and it gets people to vote. But once the candidate gets elected to office, then you don't necessarily see the changes happening within our community. And I think it's very important for as black people that we understand what we need in our communities, and we look for people who are willing to make that happen, and people who have a track record of actually doing stuff to help, our communities. But there's not much of that going on. It's just a lot of empty promises. So I try not to put my time and attention to voting as far as political parties because I haven't seen much change within our communities for decades. Now, I'm not saying that, local elections and stuff are not important for the people that make decisions for things that go on in our immediate communities, but I'm saying throughout time, we haven't really seen much of a change or much growth or things that actually were implemented to help improve our people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with black people wanting to advance the culture and advance the economic status of black people, because if we are in these conditions that we're constantly finding ourselves in, we're not schools, we don't have proper health care, um, we don't have adequate jobs in our communities. Um, there's no resources. There's a lot of things going on in our communities that need help. I think that if we kind of put our minds together and use our money versus sending our dollars out of our communities, we can actually do something to actually help our communities. And getting the perspective from these political candidates and going off of that as if that's gonna be the end all be all to actually get some change, I don't think is actually gonna happen. So I think we gotta learn how to put our differences aside and work together as a community to say, look, this is what we need right now. What can we do as individuals to make that happen versus putting our energy into, candidates who are there for a specific purpose.
Bro, minimum wage in Kansas is $7.25. Minimum wage in the state of Kansas is $7.25. When I go to Aldi's, it's a pasta sauce in there that's all natural. It costs $8. You got to work 2 hours on minimum wage in the state of Kansas to get this pasta sauce I'm talking about. You can't even do it off of 1 hour's work.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
What's on the ballot? Why ain't that on the ballot to be raised? Why is that not on the ballot? Like, come on, man.
That's why I say, like,
It's crazy out here.
these political candidates, they keep saying that they're gonna change things that's going on in our communities. They're gonna work on this. They're gonna work on that. But decade after decade, nothing ever happens. Nothing ever gets better. Things only get worse. Everything is becoming more expensive, and I'm not really seeing much happening in our communities by these presidents that claim to want to help us, but whenever they get in office, they turn their backs. So
They helping grease their pockets.
all right. So I mean, I would hope that there is a president or there is a
You ain't gonna never.
elected official to come help the issues that are actually
Well,
you know
I doubt
facing
it.
our community. But
I doubt
Soon and very soon,
Exactly.
we are going to see the King.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
Ain't
outside
nobody
of-
after us this long, it ain't gonna happen.
we got to help ourselves. And we got to do that. Not, you, look, they created this system to be against us. So we cannot help ourselves through their system. We have to help ourselves through making smart decisions financially, individually, in each one of our homes. And that's how we change it. And get our children away from watching Sexy Red and all this bull jive on YouTube and TikTok and all of that. Get in your homes, make intelligent financial decisions, make better decisions that's going to be progressive for your family. And that's how we make the changes that we need to make. Get away from these drugs that they try to use to keep us all down. They make sure in our community that the people on drugs, crack, pills, whatever it is, to keep us away from being productive people. Like, that's what's going to create real change inside of our community. Not going to some building and checking a mark on something, y'all. Like, that's lazy. That just shows me right there, we as a people really don't give a damn.
are dependent on somebody else to come save us.
Come on, man.
And then also, one thing that I've noticed about these political parties, whether it's Democrat or Republicans, they always use entertainers to influence our opinion, as if the entertainers or the sports athletes or the musical athletes, musicians are the most intelligent members of our community to make sound judgments on what we need to help us economically. There are more scholars that are more suitable to help bring ideas and help bring, you know, strategic innovations that can help our community instead of rappers or entertainers or musicians or actors. The people that are always boosted into the light are usually entertainers. While we have a lot of very educational, or we have a lot of people who are very educated, but they never are being brought to the forefront as far as what they can do or what choices or what ideas that can help the community. I don't like that there's all these, entertainers that are being used and stuff. So
we gotta put them type of people you talking about up in the forefront of a whole lot of conversations, because all these rappers and entertainers, that's what people see every day. We gotta bring it upon ourselves to enlighten the world about other people that need to be recognized.
Right.
and we definitely got to stop going for it too. Anytime that they bring an entertainer or rapper or singer and they say this is who needs to speak on behalf of our community, we have to really pay attention to it. Like, why choose somebody who's paid to entertain versus somebody who actually has the educational background to give insight on ways to actually improve the community. So we're gonna leave it on that. We got some more good topics, so stay tuned.
Drink coconut water.